10 seconds. Silence, please. Hello and good evening. This is TV9 Digital and I am Vishnu Shankar. With me is my senior colleague Kartikeya Sharma. Like every other day this week, no business was transacted in both houses of parliament because opposition and treasury benches continued to argue over what to discuss. The opposition demanded a discussion on alleged snooping by the Pegasus software, but the presiding officers in both houses did not allow that. Rahul Gandhi met with opposition leaders early in the day to discuss the opposition strategy in both houses. On your screen you can see the opposition leaders with Rahul Gandhi discussing how to go about their business in both houses today. In another development, a major political one, Mamata Banerjee, who is on a visit to Delhi, this is the third day of her visit, met Sonia Gandhi among other Congress leaders. This is a photo still from today when Mamata Banerjee, West Bengal Chief Minister, was meeting Sonia Gandhi. Mamata Banerjee has said that she is very interested that they should have a united front to take on the BJP in 2024, even though that time is still far away. But she said she is one of the cadres who would want to take on the BJP juggernaut, and that the opposition leaders should continue to come together, discuss the modalities and choose a leader. She said she would not want to be the leader unless there was a consensus. She was happy being a cadre. Kartikeya, the whole business in parliament has been topsy-turvy. Rahul Gandhi demands that discussion may be held on Pegasus or on farm bills. What is going on?
There are a couple of things which are happening. You know, Rahul Gandhi is slightly more proactive this time of the House. That is why you have seen that Rahul Gandhi is holding a meeting in the office of leader of opposition Mallikarjun Kharge in Rajya Sabha. That is his room. And most of the political parties came, but it's not that as if every political party came. Trinamool Congress was a very major absentee. In that context, even the TRS, YSRCP party, TDP, they were all absentees. They did not attend it. So a couple of strong South Indian parties were away because, you know, they are directly fighting Congress parties in their state. So I would say that it was moderately successful, but only in the context that Rahul Gandhi became center of activity here after a long time, because generally in parliament, Gandhis, if I recall correctly, have deputed senior leaders for floor coordination. But maybe since the shift has taken place and Sonia is not expected to continue beyond September, and it is expected that Rahul Gandhi will be taking up that position, he is perhaps becoming more hands-on, which became very, very visible in the Uttarakhand crisis or became very visible in the Punjab crisis, where instead of some political advisor, both the siblings were holding the meeting. Earlier it would perhaps been Margaret Alva, Ahmed Patel, Ambika Soni, but this time around it was them. So maybe it's this shift in power matrix within the Congress, and maybe also a realization that, you know, this hands-off approach just doesn't work. You know, 2024 is going to be last chance for him.
Okay. Last week he was speaking about Rafale. This week he has chosen to speak about Pegasus. We have a bite from today where Rahul Gandhi was speaking to media. Just let's listen in.
वो हमारे लिए नेशनलिज्म का मामला है, ट्रीजन का मामला है, क्योंकि ये जो हथियार है ये लोकतंत्र के खिलाफ इस्तेमाल किया गया। ये प्राइवेसी का मामला नहीं, मेरे लिए प्राइवेसी का मामला नहीं, मेरे लिए ये एंटी नेशनल काम है। नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने और अमित शाह जी ने हिंदुस्तान की लोकतांत्रिक आत्मा पर चोट मारी है, इसीलिए हम पेगासस पे डिस्कशन चाहते हैं, और इसीलिए हम पेगासस पे डिस्कशन होने से पहले हम कहीं नहीं जाएंगे।
That was former Congress President Rahul Gandhi addressing the media. Karthik, we saw that still from earlier today between showing Sonia Gandhi and Mamata Banerjee. That's a rare photo of.
See, to interrupt, Sonia has not been meeting a lot of people because of COVID-19, and Rahul last year had shifted to Sonia Gandhi's place. So I would say this is a very, very rare photograph of Sonia Gandhi actually hosting a political leader at a residence, because Rahul Gandhi's office also shifted to Sonia Gandhi. So all the staff of Rahul Gandhi, whether Alankar, Savai, Ganesh, Baiju, all of Madhavan, they were all working together. So, but I think it's less about Sonia Gandhi, it's more about the political weight of Mamata Banerjee, that she single-handedly defeated, Narendra Modi's Bharatiya Janata Party there. The juggernaut was stopped by, juggernaut was stopped by her. So Sonia Gandhi's party drew a blank. Congress got 0 in West Bengal. So I think it's more because of Mamata's political weight, and I think Mamata is going to play a far bigger role than even I would say Sharad Pawar, because Sharad Pawar, all said and done, is a leader who is known for his influence, but it doesn't count much in Lok Sabha. Mamata Banerjee sends more than 20 MPs to Lok Sabha, has got number of MPs in Raj Sabha, so Mamata has got a lot of heft. If Congress would have been 7 or 8 seats short, perhaps TMC would have got the leader of Lok Sabha. So I think the dynamics is changing when it comes to politics of center. Strong regional parties are becoming important, but one has to see how the idea of a direct contest takes place. The only time it took place was in 71, 77 and 1990. After that, there has been no direct contest which has taken place against an incumbent government.
So Mamata Banerjee has started really early this time. 2024 is still we are at 3 years away.
I think Mamata is very, very smart, because if you really have to fight an incumbent, that's what is happening. The first time the Swatantra Party Jansangh wanted to take up an incumbent like Indira Gandhi, there are written records that Pilu Modi of Swatantra Party was against any joint candidate without an ideological framework, and at that point of time Madhu Dandavate, George Fernandes were against it, and they came out with a slogan which is Indira Hatao, and Pilu Modi went to Bombay, now Mumbai and then Bombay, saying that we have lost this election against Indira because your campaign is negative, and Indira Gandhi spun the slogan around when he said Indira Hatao hi kafi hai. So Indira Gandhi came up with this slogan, wo kehte hain Indira Hatao, main kehti hu Garibi Hatao. So similarly, I think if they really have to band together, there has to be some electoral, ideological common goal post, because it just doesn't happen. The only time opposition has been successful was when everyone merged into Janata Party, common symbol, but even then the ideological difference between the former erstwhile Jansangh members and Charan Singh and other political parties like Socialist, PSP, Kisan parties, they were so antagonistic towards each other that the whole government fell within 2.5 years.
Yeah, but looking at the opposition at the moment, do you think Mamata's efforts and also Prashant Kishore, who has been meeting many opposition political leaders, this will bring fruit, because each time they dissolve to have a united front, and then nearer the election it all breaks apart?
See, this is something I think the good parts of a strong political thinker, and you have some legacies of political thinkers which which is carried through generations. Ram Manohar Lohia in 1967 came out with this anti-ism, saying that we cannot defeat Congress unless and until we come together. A lot of people say that he mainstreamed RSS, because in 1967, when all the Sayukt Sarkars were formed in the northern India, they were active. They had active participation by Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, and at that point of time, socialists were fighting against RSS both on ideological and electoral level. But they were in the same cabinet and ministers. So similarly, when these political parties talk about taking on Narendra Modi, you cannot take Narendra Modi in context of just fighting an election. There has to be an alternative imagination. Unless and until you have those alternative imagination in place, and now people would like to know economic imagination, social media imagination, political imagination, how will you take on a person through a negative campaign? So I think she has started early. Well, that's a good thing. At least someone is behaving like an opposition party. But then road is very difficult.
Thank you,
Thank
Karthikeya, for your observations. So that's it for today in terms of political developments. Thank you for watching TV9 Digital. Stay with us for all the latest and most accurate political news. Thank you again. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.